I think the biggest challenge is the scope and size of the challenge,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about transforming the global food system,
Yeah.
and we've spent a lot of time as PepsiCo. We spent a lot of time here the last 10 days talking about regenerative agriculture,
Yeah.
right? And how do we bring regenerative practices? How do we make it mainstream? How do we get the food system, all the players in it, all the actors working together, but really putting the farmer at the center? And I
Mhm.
think that's, whether it's a large industrial scale farmer or a smallholder growing a little bit in their backyard, right? A lot of the challenges are the same, but the scale, the size, and the need to really have partnerships, which I know we'll talk about later,
Yeah.
critically important to really bring that whole system along. Governments have a role, NGOs have a role, obviously companies like PepsiCo have a role, and farmer organizations that work with farm, all those players have to be aligned. And so that's, I think, the biggest challenge is how do you it's system change.
Yeah.
How do you really make system change happen at scale on a topic that is both as fundamental as food and
Yeah.
food security, but also as important to the climate? Roughly 25% is of emissions or agriculture and land use. For us, it's even more. It's about a third of our
Oh,
total
wow.
emissions. So it's important for us and for our business, obviously important for the world. Most importantly, it's important for the farmers.
Yeah, no. So a challenge from the different actors that need to be brought in, the fact that we're working across the globe, that you need to kind of scale things at a small level to make them kind of global. So it sounds as if there's a lot of investment that's going to be needed. How do we ensure that that cost isn't passed on to the consumer?
Well, you're right. There is a lot of investment that's needed. The great thing is that a lot of it is already happening, and a lot of it actually pays back. Now, it pays back over time, and that's one of the challenges. I've
Yeah.
been on a number of groups and panels and closed door meetings this week talking about how do we help farmers through that transition,
Right.
because different organizations use different data, but generally 3 to 5 years is the transition period for many farmers as they're adopting the new practices and implementing them really at scale. So how do we help them through that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the good news is when they come out the other side, they're lower they're lower risk, they're more resilient, and
Yeah.
they're at least as profitable
Yeah.
as they were before. That's actually an investable proposition. And one of the things I've talked to a lot of financial
Yeah.
institutions about is we need more creativity, we need more financial engineering, and I say that in a positive sense, to really take that investable proposition
Yeah.
and help bring capital to that.